All right, one time. Okay.
Dr. Garrison?
Hi, Dr. Singh. How you doing?
Nice to meet you, sir.
It's nice to meet you as well.
Thank you for conducting this interview with me.
You're very welcome. It's not a problem. Your resume speaks volume about your qualifications for this position.
Thank you very much for this packet, and I think we should get started.
All right, sounds good. So, as stated for interviews concerning positions, as important as this one, I have to confirm that you are here for this position and that I believe that you are here for.
I'm applying for the open neurosurgical program at Florida Hospital. You know, my days would be very highly structured. Mondays, I would be in surgery, for example. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I may be in clinic seeing patients. Thursdays, I might be in angiogram lab, doing microvascular surgery, for example, clipping aneurysms. And Fridays, I'd probably be doing more surgery, and weekends, I'd have that off. And, you know, every once in a while, I'm expecting to do a 30-hour on-call for trauma.
So to start off, what is your motivation to go through medical school, a neurological residency, a cerebrovascular fellowship, just to do brain surgery?
You know, I think I always like to help people because I volunteered at this exact hospital in the neuro ICU.
You did?
On Fridays. But it was not until I took an SLS class during my time enrolling at Valencia College that I recognized this passion, and I called it my purpose in life. Volunteering at the neuro ICU humbled me and my view on medicine. I was always excited to see people recover from perfect injuries or neurological deficits, but always sad when a patient died. And for this reason, I could verbalize in my SLS class that I want to help people recover and prevent them from dying.
Wow, I'm very sorry to hear that you experienced those such things at such a young age, but I can see that you turned that into motivation for your hard work for the years following. Also, it's nice to meet another Valencia alumni.
Oh, nice. Did your SLS professor make you do those co-curricular assignments and the career interview?
Oh yeah, at that time that I thought it was a huge waste of time, but I realized that over time it showed me value, especially the career interviews, because I had a solid plan for applying to an MD/MBA program in med school.
Oh, very interesting. My career interviewee actually told me about applying for a BS/MD accelerator program in medical school.
So while we're looking about your education, tell me about your education path all these years.
Of course. So a research that I'd used at the beginning of my college career was visiting the academic advisor. They laid out my exact plan to graduate and to move on to the next step. I started by enrolling at Valencia College during high school, and I'd received my AA right after my high school diploma. And the great thing about this program is that college during this time is completely free. And then I transferred to UCF through the Direct Connect program, where I'm guaranteed admission to the university, and I spent 3 years there. During this time, I did research, I shadowed doctors at this exact hospital, actually, and wrote my own thesis by participating in the Honors of Major program. I then matriculated into Johns Hopkins for medical school. This lasted for 4 years. I then got into a neurosurgical residency at Tulane University, and then a cerebrovascular fellowship at Cleveland Clinic. So that also helped me budget all my debt during this time was my financial planner at Atlas.
Very impressive. Yes, I used the same thing during med school and undergrad. By the way, I had heard that you had many other interviews throughout the week for other neurosurgical positions. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. Why, may I ask?
Well, I have very good news for you concerning your debt. You had mentioned in the preliminary interview with my coworker that you owed $400,000 in debt. I had reached out to the HR and the Board of Neurosurgery here, and they okayed a huge financial bonus for you if you sign here for 5 years. In addition to your salary, we were willing to pay off all of your debt. That is, frankly, a lot of money. I just want to let you know where that came from.
Of course. So my AA was paid for with dual enrollment. I also received a full ride with a Bright Future Scholarship for UCF, along with financial incentives offered. This covered about $20,000 plus books, which are about $1,100 a year. The big chunk of my debt is from the cost of attendance of Johns Hopkins Medical School, which was about $67,650 per year, which includes about $50,000 for tuition, $15,000 for room and board, and about $1,250 for books and supplies. And during residency, we were barely paid enough to live and survive off of, so I had to defer loans and the interest has built up.
Of course, thank you for sharing that. I was just curious to see where those funds went.
Of course.
I can tell you're extremely motivated to save lives, and that can either be a good or bad thing. What do you think about the rate of depression and suicide amongst physicians today?
Yeah, you are correct. You know, residency teaches us that we need to constantly work 80 hours a week. But physician burnout is a real thing. You know, I was reading an article the other day on this topic, and physicians, despite having some of the best pay, are also number one in depression and suicide. I believe that this is due to the immense amount of pressure on us and the long work weeks that our older generation is more accustomed to.
So what will you do to prevent this?
Honestly, I love working out. It's my main source of stress relief, and at the same time, I like to stay fit. I like the idea that I can focus my anger and frustration about something to working out so I can improve my body. When I had completed my place co-curricular for SLS, I learned there was a gym on campus. This is great for me because if I ever needed a place to cool off or just work off some frustration, that was it.
Something else that I wanted to ask was if you had any mentors while training to become a physician.
Of course, I've had many mentors teach me things along the way, but I think that the most prominent of any of them has actually been my career interviewee for SLS, which is Dr. Corey. I'm pretty sure you should know him because he retired from here recently, but his policy on patient care first and hospital drama second has always inspired me to do the same when I became a physician. He taught me to be polite but firm when dealing with hospital staff, but most importantly, he told me that however far I go in life, I always must stay humble and open-minded to new things. When I heard that he retired a few years ago, I wanted to be the one to carry on his tradition of patient care, and in my experience, many doctors are distracted from this and only the patient suffers.
Yes, I knew Dr. Corey before he retired here, and I've heard very similar things. If you aspire to model his behavior, and I'm sure that you will fit in just fine here at the Florida hospital. One last question before we end this interview. Why do you believe that you will make a great neurosurgeon?
Of course. So back when I took my Strength Quest assessment for SLS, I learned that I was an analytical, focused person who loved to learn and achieve. I've always been an analytical person. I can see and think about many different factors that would influence a course of action that I would take. This is essential for a surgeon because the whole body is interrelated, and the many systems must be accounted for before taking a plan of action. I've also always been an achiever. Whenever I had a dream or goal, I always did everything in my power to follow through. And this relates to my career because I will always do everything in my power to help my patient recover and do better. And since the field of neurosurgery is always evolving, it is important for me to be a learner. So I am up to date with the latest surgical procedures. And this will, one, increase my effectiveness as a surgeon, and will even allow me to treat previously untreatable neurological conditions. Finally, being focused is an essential trait of a surgeon because many things can happen during surgery. Usually one or two things takes priority, and a focused person is able to hone in on these specific things that we have to focus on and act on it.
Thank you for your time. I will talk to the Board of Neurosurgery and HR to discuss your employment here. Between you and me, I'm almost 100% sure you will get the offer within the week.
Alright, that sounds great. Again, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to conduct this interview, and I hope that you hear from you soon, Dr. Harris.
Alright, sure. Sounds great.